I was born on March 4th, 1929. In Hrušky. It was the coldest year of the century. It was kind of good preparation for my later years in Alaska. My father was from Bohemia, my mother from Moravia, and she was Moravian Slovak, which is a very picturesque, place in Moravia, famous with their art and songs. My father had only German schools. At home they spoke Czech and school was in German. So this is the way how he was able to learn perfect German. And at the same time this was an attempt of Austrians to Germanize Czech nation. We did not realize what was coming. We knew as students that Hitler seized power in Germany in 1933. But we were optimistic, that at the end there won't be any war, But half a year later, Hitler's armies entered Czechoslovakia, occupied Czechoslovakia. In 1944, our schools were closed and we were ordered to build trenches around the capital of Moravia for Nazis under supervision of Gestapo, and German police.
In May 1945, the Nazis retreated, and Rudy saw an opportunity to steal an armored vehicle for the Czech resistance.
So with a friend of mine, a painter, we have decided that we will recover one of the armed wagons, which was about 50 yards from the road, abandoned. Before I realized there was a motorcycle group of SS men leaving along the road. Before I realized they were standing about 20 meters ahead of me with a machine gun. They started shooting. My friend Tony was about 4 meters behind me. I was in the water and I realized I was full of blood. I thought that I was hit, but it was blood of my friend. And they shot towards me. They did not hit me. They were sure that I was dead. They turned around and they speeded away.
Just 1 year after Hitler's defeat, social upheaval returned as the Iron Curtain began to close off Czechoslovakia. Again, Rudy joined a resistance group.
We wanted to be active, to do something, to warn people. So we will distribute leaflets warning people about communism, that they have to stand up and reject communism. This was the fatal night for me. We were watched by secret policemen. We were gluing these leaflets, on stores, on doors, and in the center of Brno. All of a sudden, the policemen started chasing us. I lost contact with my friends. Everybody tried to save himself.
Learning that one of his group had been captured, Rudy went into hiding. A warrant was issued for his arrest. Eventually, he returned home, where he hid in a secret closet whenever the police came searching. He did not leave the house for the next 5 years.
I never expected to stay 5 years in hiding. My father was able to supply me, not only with books, but also with security. He introduced me into philosophy, introduced me into political science, sociology, psychology, because these were fields he, in his free time, studied.
The plan was to hide Rudy in a box beneath a load of coal on a train bound for Austria. To deceive the border dogs, he soaked himself in a mixture of vinegar and pepper.
We started planning it, how to escape. On the condition we cannot trust anybody. It has to be planned in such a way that we have to succeed. If we don't succeed, the whole family will be arrested. And it has to be enough light so that I can walk myself uncovering the coal, inserting a coffin into the coal, covering the coffin and leaving an entry into the coffin. I was able to get into the train in the center of Moravia with full moon. I was in the coffin. We arrived at the border. From both sides of the train, there was a group of secret policemen, border policemen. They walked with dogs. One dog was on the top of the coal and was jumping from wagon to another wagon, you know, and all of a sudden I hear how he jumped above my head, and I hear him doing, you know, and jumped away. No, the train was let through.
In Austria, Rudy earned a PhD at Innsbruck, then moved to America to look for work. In 1960, he interviewed with President Ernest Patty of the University of Alaska.
So I applied and was able to get contact directly with the university, with President Patty. The discussion is, what do you want to do here? Well, I want to teach philosophy. He started laughing. He says, why do you laugh? He said, we never needed philosophy, we don't need it now, we will never need it, forget it. It is not university, it was school of minds. No other place could produce this type of intellect. It depends on the purpose of education. When the purpose of education is to become a good miner, then philosophy doesn't make sense. Anglo-Saxon universities in general are empirical universities, pragmatic universities. And when you get that, you are highly specialized expert. You are not educated man, but the concept of education on the continent was to achieve worldview. Here, when you ask somebody, they don't know what you are talking about, to have worldview.
In more than 50 years' association with the University of Alaska, Rudy observed 11 presidents and several academic controversies. The first was Project Chariot. Once again, at some risk to himself, Rudy challenged the authorities.
The project was to create an artificial harbor by exploding an atom bomb. Then I learned that Chamber of Commerce all over Alaska is excited about the project. President Wood was excited. Juneau was excited. Money was coming, you know. For that we were able to sell our soul, you know, like Faust. And we did. I got into big fight with him. As far as Project Chariot is concerned, he came to me and told me, if you go on as you do now, there is only one way from Alaska. One way, direct, down to lower states. This is what he told me.
Rudy survived. He convinced Wood to allow a philosophy department and established the College of Arts and Letters. Still, the intellectual culture on campus was at times primitive.
It was general understanding that whoever teaches Marxism must be Marxist. I was able to teach it anywhere. But here I was accused that I am a communist.
For more than a decade, the university has been led not by scholars, but by former military generals.
I see, I hope not because I am growing older, that things when I was young were much better. But I see a universal deterioration of everything what we have. We are hiring somebody who was a general, successful general. What was the content of his knowledge, of his wisdom when he was general? Now when he retires, he's good to lead the university? In what?
Rudy Krejci's lifelong determination to speak out for intellectual freedom and culture meant that his security was repeatedly threatened. But he nimbly survived the Nazis, the communists, the minor president, the booster president, the military presidents. He retired from the University of Alaska in 1997, but not from thinking and not from speaking his mind.
I did not change. I continued.